on my mind a lot. Don't need no time watch. I don't know how I got you in my pocket spot. Yeah, that's babe, need you every day. You like my oxygen. Make it seem like the barging down. Got my heart no barging in. From the bed to the floor to the couch. Might wake the neighbors up. Break you in and break you out. In the end, we're gonna make it.
Dionna, hi. We're back for another edition of All Time High. One of the things we're going to do is to help the space grow and by looking at some jobs detail. But one of my favorite times of year is this particular weekend. It's Super Bowl weekend. And I wanted to get your hot sports opinion on teams playing, what you think the big news will be, who you're going to, where are you going to wager?
Yeah. So we're looking at the Chiefs and the 49ers, right? A little Brock Purdy, a little Patrick Mahomes. Almost forgot his name for a second. So for me, I love an underdog, right? And I think Brock Purdy's story is so amazing. I'm not really a 49ers fan. I've been watching the Chiefs probably more as like my third team, but man, I love the underdog. So I'm rooting for the 49ers.
Well, Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant. He was the last draft pick in the draft a 3 years ago. And so to watch him progress, and while he may not win MVP this year, he'll probably come in second behind Lamar Jackson. Yes, his transformation has been incredible. But you know whose transformation for football this year was even bigger?
I know.
Here we go.
I know.
Yeah.
Are we talking about Miss Taylor Swift?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that's as big a story for this particular Super Bowl as any. And you can look, there are all kinds of prop bets on DraftKings related specifically to Taylor Swift.
Hey, did you see that she gifted Travis Kelce a $45 million limited edition Mustang for winning the championship?
I did not. So, one of the prop bets is whether or not if they win that he'll actually get down on one knee and propose to her, which are you taking that over under? You think that's likelihood, or are we too fresh in this relationship? I mean, that is so Disney-esque. It's scary.
Well, they've been together longer than we know they have been. I watched a report on it, and Taylor said everybody thinks that when they first saw her at the football game that was their first date, but they had actually been together for quite a while, and they were ready to come out and say like, hey, this is a thing, we're supporting each other. So they've got more time in this than we know. It'll start with a podcast.
And I agree with you on that. When I knew something was happening faster than we were all cognizant of was when she was in the suite for the first time at a Chiefs game, and she's on CBS. She is sitting next to Travis Kelce's mom.
Yeah.
That is not the play if one is casually dating.
Yeah.
That is the play when, like that you just said hello. This is a lot more serious. And so at that point when Kelce was making the friendship bracelets and things like that, I think maybe, they spun that narrative a bit because boy, did things start to happen quickly.
Yeah. So. Yeah. You ever had somebody introduce you to their parents on a first date?
No, but I married my high school sweetheart. And so I did. So
I love it.
Have you had that experience? I
have. And it's a total I'm out. It's too fast. I don't even know you. I don't want to know them. So kudos for them for being in it. And that's not the first date that we all saw.
That's a great story. I think we may have to cover that at some point in the future.
Yeah, I got them for days. I did not marry my high school sweetheart.
And we've been married for 30 years. So she puts up with me and we still communicate and enjoy each other's company. I'm getting all choked up.
Hold on to her. You'd be lost. If you tried to date now, you'd be so lost.
Wouldn't do it, couldn't do it. I'm going to share my screen as we shift gears into one of the biggest things that's going to help our industry get to an all-time high, and that is with job growth. And so I have a location that I look at every week. They send me this push notification. Can you see that? It comes from the Blockchain Association.
Sure can.
And I wanted to get your kind of take on this. Right now at the top, it'll tell you there are over 1,300 jobs. So if somebody's looking to make a move into this industry, this is a great place to start.
Yeah, fantastic. And fun. Like I said, in the jobs that I've worked, I've literally traveled all over the world. I've been to Colombia, Uruguay, Dubai. I mean, listen, it is better traveling in blockchain than it was in the Army. Because first, you don't have to carry all the gear. It's about a 200-pound lighter trip. And you get to fly in nicer planes. So you get to have all the benefits.
to your point, look at one of the first jobs, and I couldn't have predicted this, but to be a brand creative director for crypto.com, oh, why don't we
Huge.
do that in Hawaii? How about
Yeah.
that? Today,
Huge. Yeah.
jobs ready. And then you look through, and to your point, a lot of these are also remote jobs, so you can work from your Zoom communication if you wanted to.
Yep.
Masari, that's Ryan Selkis, big company. They're doing a lot of things in the space. But then you get down to Aptos, which has jobs in South Korea, Japan, India, right? I look at this to understand the direction of the organization.
Yeah.
It's quite telling.
Yeah, 100%. And my other favorite part is the remote work. Now, you do have to be a disciplined person because you don't have that necessary routine to get up, go to work. You're working in this dedicated place. If you work from home, if you work when you travel, if you have that self-discipline, it's fantastic because I can go anywhere at any time. The flexibility it gives me, the time I get back at home with my family, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
Yeah, and look, you've got no, that is very well said. And then to bring this full circle, I mean, when you go down the rabbit holes, you don't know what you don't know until you get there. And I'm looking at this with Dapper Labs. Are you familiar with Dapper Labs and the
Are you kidding
NFL?
me? Yeah.
Yeah,
Who
I
doesn't know
mean,
Dapper?
they're gonna. Well, for any of the listeners out there that are kind of like, okay, I landed on this with the Super Bowl and Taylor Swift. Dapper Labs will let you buy NFTs from different athletes. They've reached an agreement with the NFLPA, the Players Association, and they put it on a blockchain, and you get your original video music bed all tied up and authenticated to you.
Yeah.
So it's pretty wild. I can't remember off the top which particular blockchain. Is it Flow, the Flow blockchain that they
Yeah,
write to?
Flow is Dapper's.
Layer one. And so if you look, I just kind of locked in for marketing and communications. That's 112 jobs. But look at the categories here.
Yeah. Business development is a good one. If you're not a technical person, business development and marketing are probably the easiest to get into. And if you're not good at either one of those, community management would be another good one to get into, which kind of falls under marketing. But those are easy ones to slip into because it's the same principles. You just have to learn the industry a little bit more.
And then as you look at the locations, I think you can see remote. You talked about United States, but then there's a couple that are really the financial headquarters for those particular countries, if not directly, indirectly the world: London, New York, and Singapore. So what great optionality for somebody or something to make a difference, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And there's more than just that one site as well. Like I
Oh
think
yeah.
there's crypto jobs. I get emails every day with new jobs. So there's lots of opportunity to look.
And I'll put that link in show notes so people can subscribe to that. And I do want to mention though, let's go time travel. I have my nice jacket on today. I really should have on my Michael J. Fox from Back to the Future
Uh-oh.
little jacket chiller vest kind of thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about? The puffy jacket.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to say, if I could go back in time, I'm going to ask you this question first and then I'll answer after. If you could go back in time and say, okay, this is the job or industry or category within cryptocurrency, blockchain, or AI that I would like to be a part of, where would you have gone? Which section, like in the biz dev, IT, marketing, comms,
And the
developer, legal?
I would almost say CTO because I love the technical side and the industry is so low on developers because so many people need them. We can't produce them fast enough. So I think as a developer, you always have job security. I mean, I don't think you could go anywhere and be able to work. So for me, I would like that one.
Yeah. And for me, like if I were right now in law school, I would. And it's unfortunate, I think, because to get to an all-time high, we're going to need to get to a place where the lawyers are not the most important part of the industry.
Yeah.
But while there is this regulatory uncertainty, if I could walk out of school right now with a law degree and talk about practicing cryptocurrency, you're going to be part of some of the foundational aspects of this huge market cap. And where the money is, the people will follow. And where there's uncertainty, there's lawyers.
Always.
From
even when there's
standpoint,
there's lawyers.
there are lawyers, especially when there's money there. And so, to be able to do that, if someone were in law school or were looking at, okay, what do I want to do next? I mean, one of my cousins went into bankruptcy law, and I didn't really understand it at the time because it seemed counter-cyclical and things were really going well in the economy. But when he graduated, after he landed that job, 3 years later, the economy fell in 2010, and he was perfectly positioned for that kind of counter cyclical aspect of what transpired at the time. And he elevated and really catapulted his career. So if you want outsized returns, I think sometimes you have to take outsized risk. That's not financial advice. That's career advice.
That's career advice. And we are not career advisors. We're just smart people.
Yeah. I've made my fair share of mistakes. And I'm happy to talk to people about those whenever, but we're not going to talk about all those mistakes today. We'll talk about them in a future episode.
Yeah. And, just going back to the jobs real quick, I do want to say this as well. If you're a forward-thinking person and you get in early on a startup, there's an opportunity sometimes to work for shares, right? So if I get into the company early, I'm not taking a salary, I'm taking shares. But then as that company starts to build, you know what I mean? Those shares could turn into like a huge monetary value. And it's also an asset that you have under your belt, in addition to whatever money you can bring in after the fact. So tech companies tend to pay very well. Startups will not. And be prepared, because there are a lot of startups. If you're not in a position to be able to take that type of risk, just go with a more well-known company and you won't have to take those kinds of cuts.
No, that's good guidance. And from somebody with the experience in the field who's seen the good, the bad, the ugly, all the above.
And the really ugly.
The really ugly. All right. That is not the name of this episode. We'll talk about the really ugly in a future episode. Dionna, thanks again for joining me on All Time High today. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everyone.
You on my mind a lot. Don't need no time watch. I don't know how I got